Y'all, this is a very special reality, gays. This is like
Sounds like an after-school special.
Well, no, more special than like Poodle in like a room of Latin dicks.
Oh,
like,
it's my dream.
My dream. Y'all, we're here with the podcasters and also the stars of not MTV, Bravo's Summer House. I already fucked it up.
The MTV Beach House.
Give us some
MTV
class.
Y'all, we have fucking Hannah Berner and motherfucking Paige DeSorbo in our podcast right now. Y'all, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
I love an intro with that amount of F-bombs. That's how you know it's gonna be lit.
So total transparency. We shout out to Sara at Acast because y'all are an Acast podcast. Giggly Squad is, and it's so funny. We call our Facebook group the Sissy Squad. So I thought that's funny. But they helped set this up. Listening to your show, I just told Poodle this, and he said, you should say that to them. You know what I love about your show? A lot of people compare our show and say, oh, your show's like this show, that like duo shows. Mm-hmm. I feel like y'all are the most kind of like intentional show close to ours, and meaning that y'all use comedy, you use pop culture weirdness
and your own relationship,
but to talk about yourselves and also to have like this heart of this show that actually, I think what I love about your show, I listen to it and then it's like, oh wait, they were helping something in my life and I didn't even realize it when we were talking about that guy's dick.
Wow, I love that.
No, really. And Jake and I try to do that too. And I think y'all really do that. And you're not just doing something fun, but you're putting something good out there in the world. So you guys, we can't recommend their show enough.
Well, the interesting part about Giggly Squad is it started because Kyle yelled at us and called us the Giggly Squad because we got the giggles at dinner. We all do it. But then during quarantine, we actually needed help. Like we were in a dark place. We had everything going on to nothing going on. Yeah. And we started at 10 p.m. every night, just going live with each other. And also I think with TV, like you'll see friends that you like. And I'm like, what if we really brought these people into our like FaceTimes? And we started doing these Instagram lives every night. And it really like got us through quarantine, but like whoever listened was helping us and we were helping them. And it was this beautiful, beautiful community. And honestly, it's the best hour of my week to just like talk shit with Paige because everyone knows there's podcasts that you're like, this is pulling teeth. But with Paige, I'm like, oh, I got caught up with my best friend.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's what for our podcast, it will and always should feel like it's just me spending time with my best squirrel friend.
Because
my best cricket friend.
It's so true because Hannah and I would sit on FaceTime for hours in the beginning of quarantine. I was like, Hannah, we were just on the phone for 4 hours talking shit. How did we even have that much shit in our brains? And then we were like, imagine if people could hear these FaceTimes.
People in our life were like, how are you going to do an hour a night during quarantine with nothing going on? And I'm like, oh, we have sick brains. We're sick.
Yeah.
We'll come up with shit.
Yeah. Now, I will. You are all. These are 4 dick pigs on a podcast.
Oh yeah,
and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Dick piggery, like sniffing around like truffles. Dick pigs.
I love truffle.
Yeah. Yeah, you talk, everyone's like, can I have some truffle fries? And I think Kyle said, are those real truffles? I'm like, shut up, douchebag.
We're not. I know you can't say we're not huge Kyle friends. Now, I will say, Jake wants Carl to fuck him with every fiber of his being.
I would beg for it.
You want to have sex with Carl?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
Like, yeah. And I think Carl's attractive to me. He really is. But I feel like
I kind of want to blow him more.
I feel like I mean, that he's a walking petri dish.
I would need to be inoculated by many.
Wait. So what does it mean that you'd rather blow him than have sex with him?
Yeah.
It's less of a commitment.
Explain the nuance. Okay.
I don't have to do the whole dog and pony show, and it's less for his shame afterwards. Although I don't know if there'd be that much shame.
No, but you're lying. I'm gonna, as a best friend, I'm gonna call you on this. Poodle, close your eyes. He hates it when I do this. Close your eyes and imagine you're in a bedroom. There's white linens flowing off of the wall.
Oh, I already like this.
Music playing. Carl is looking at you, and he
with his blinky eyes, with his crinkly eyes.
And then you just feel his dick kind of touch the bottom of your tank, and he says,
knocking at the back door.
And he says, "Mother, may I?" And you tell me you would say no.
And I say, "Please, sir, may I have some more?"
And you tell him to ramrod fuck you.
We're gonna get a text from Carl being like, "Hey guys, what the fuck was that podcast?"
I will say this: Carl has, especially this summer, Carl had just like a presence. You know when a man walks into a room
No,
and you're
that's totally.
and you're just
I get it from him.
you're sitting there and there you just feel something. You're like, I feel like someone just walked in the room. Like Carl just had this like, I don't know, effortless swag this summer.
He's
that
also
we
the
were all
guy
just
who's like he's
Yeah.
always like late or like doesn't care. Like, you know, like when your
Yes.
crush is always the one you're like, where are they? Like Carl's always like doing his own thing. But also Carl stopped drinking as much as he used to.
Right.
And like it really does help every part of you. Like his face,
Yeah.
he looks like a beautiful pregnant woman without the belly. Like he's glowing.
like he was
glowing.
He's gonna love that comparison. You're a beautiful
Yeah.
pregnant woman.
I mean, you guys called Paige an elephant on our podcast, so it's just
We did, because she was the
Patting
elephant
her
in the
back,
room.
Hannah.
Oh yeah, we should say that, y'all. We guested on their podcast, Giggly Squad. So be sure to check that out. It's in the show link.
indulge in both. Indulge
yes.
in
Oh,
both.
we had a
Indulge
good
in-
time.
We had a really good time. No, so Summer House is dropping. It's coming out on Thursday,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? So
yeah.
for our listeners that haven't listened, that are
Who
not
were
engaged
living
in
under
it,
a rock.
yes, tell them a little bit. Like, how would you describe Summer House? This is a fifth season, sixth.
This is season
right?
5.
And
Season.
y'all been on since 3. So you're old timers now.
Paige, you
Hannah-
take it.
Hannah describes it as prison with a pool. And
Especially this season.
yeah, we said last week we came up with incarceration, but with really good decor.
Yeah.
Or co-working space with no HR. There's a lot of things that our show is.
But what's important is this is the first season that we were stuck in a house together
Right.
for 6 weeks. So
You
when
had to
she
stay
says
there.
co-working without HR and a lot more alcohol, like it was true because you're working together, you're eating together, you're fighting together, you're doing everything together. Where in the past we'd work during the week in the city.
Right.
And then we'd go to the Hamptons on the weekend. So you really get small doses of this friend group that you party with. And now it was like, you're stuck.
Like
So
the
that
real
bro-
world.
That Bravo paycheck better have been good.
It was like we were all adopted and now we lived in this like foster home together. And it was like, who's gonna
You're
get
like,
out first?
It's a hard knock
know?
life for us.
Like, who's cleaning the floor?
Yep. It's Annie, but she had a hot tub and like full face of makeup.
Well, so in like kind of in going, we kind of left last season. Like, Hannah, I want to ask, like you were kind of dating, but now you're more right. You're more kind of in a committed relationship
With your
So
old guy, with your
So-
old hottie.
What did you say to Luke about that? How did that go down in this season? I know that probably it's going to make it tricky.
Well, what's cool, you see this like Luke, my relationship with Luke changed this season, and you see new things about myself and him this season, and
Yeah.
you get a whole new perspective on kind of like there's a difference between like when two people meet and things are exciting, and then
Yeah.
you see like how people really are. Because I actually think this season everyone gets like exposed. Everyone, including myself, of
'Cause
like
they can't get away.
have
You
to
can't get
peel- yeah,
away.
You
Yeah.
can't like
The real
leave
world.
and get your shit together, call your mom. Like you're
Yeah.
literally just getting torn apart, and then we're all just shreds of what we were, and we're just raw. And I think some things you see, you're like, ooh, I didn't want to see that.
Yeah.
I
And
think it
something-
definitely is the most vulnerable,
Yes.
especially like specifically for me, the most vulnerable I've ever been.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of like the other cast, they just really, because we've gotten so close now. Like we do have Sierra, who is new, but the rest of us, we've been doing it together now for 3 summers and living with each other. And you just do get so much more comfortable when you're living with someone for 24 hours a day,
Yeah.
7 days a week. So I
Yeah.
feel like we really are the most vulnerable we've ever been, and just say things that really come to our minds with no filter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like our first season, we were like, we need these people to like us, and then it happens, and then you're like, wait, now I need to fight with
You
everyone.
really see that in season 4, because in season 3 you could tell like you were newer, but
I
season
was
4
so
especially,
scared.
and by season 4 y'all were the both of you were totally BFFs. So I think you really knew that like no matter what happens in this house, I've got my best friend who's going to have my
Yeah.
back on this.
Mhm.
Last season was funny because I know like Lindsay had made up some stuff that like to make Paige and I get mad at
Yeah.
each other, and we both were like, I would never say that about her. And then the next weekend, Paige was like yelling at me for something, and I was like, I'm yelling at you now. Like we didn't care which direction it was, as long as I
Here's
just
the thing with Hannah and I's friendship that is my favorite part. we will talk the most shit to each other. Like, you're being an idiot, stop. But if someone outside of our friendship says something about the other one, we're like, excuse you? Call her a dumb bitch. But how dare you call her one? You know? So that's what I think real friendships are.
I'm this way with this queen.
He is. He is. With
I'll
me
be the
that way.
first to tell him he's handling me like Lenny from Of Mice and Men.
It's true.
Wait, how long have you guys been friends again? How many years?
Oh, like 20 years.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Almost
how
20
many,
years.
How many times did you guys break up?
We
We
don't-
never dated.
You know,
No,
No,
but
but
like
she
how
meant,
many
like,
times did you have a friend break up? Like, were
You know what?
Oh, a friend breakup.
we actually have never really had, and we were even roommates for 6 years.
We've
We've
never
never had like a big fight.
We've had like little ones.
Mm.
But very, very little. And I think we kind of go at each other on our podcast. And so
Yeah, we like fight a little bit. It's
we
and
squabble a little
listeners
bit.
find it very
they're
uncomfortable.
like, yeah, the ones that don't enjoy confrontation are like, Daddy and
No.
Daddy are fighting. And we're
They
like,
do not
"No,
like it. We get DMs about it. They're like, you guys are fighting.
but we just, it's
Are we having 2 Christmases?
yeah. Exactly. So we just never, you know why we haven't really fought? Ladies, I will tell you right
We
now.
go after 2 different types of men.
There you are. We go after a different
we
dick.
get it. We get it.
Yeah, you
We
can't you
get it.
cannot you cannot be best friends with someone
Mm-mm.
who
Has
like
the
the
same
same dick
type.
that you do.
No.
It's so
You ne-
funny because obviously Paige is gorgeous and can have any man she wants.
Oh my God, Hannah. Thanks.
And you first would be like, this is troublesome to be walking around with this girl on my arm 24/7. But then I realized she likes hairy, shorter, stocky men.
Swarthy. Oh, are you like a troll from Lord of the Rings or something?
I
Just
wanna be like,
hiding.
scrunch you up and put you in my fucking pocket.
Ooh,
Oh, okay.
No,
I'm the
I-
same. Give me those.
I like a hairier, maybe Persian, Italian.
Mhm.
I love Jewish men. There's something about that. I just fucking love them.
Wait. So you mean someone like Carl?
Oh,
I'm just saying
Yeah.
because
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Carl is
'Cause you're single now.
aesthetically- Yeah, aesthetically, Carl is exactly my type.
yeah,
Where-
same,
Well-
same girl, same.
Mhm.
I just date tall, very pure, white, blue eyes Irish men.
Yeah, the more Anglo-Saxon, the better. for her.
Not
Looks
me.
like they've come off the Mayflower. That's what I
Yeah.
know.
Well, and you are
Madam Ava Braun.
Madam Ava Braun. Now, Hannah, you are dating somebody who's older than you now.
Mhm.
So, and Paige, you did that. You're single now.
Mhm.
Did you give her advice on dating older men or no?
I didn't give her any advice pertaining to age because I feel like Des and Perry are so different, even though they are older than us.
Mhm.
But there were things about dating someone older that I absolutely loved.
The dick
Absolutely
is
loved.
better. Older dick
Yeah,
is better.
and they're
They know
so
what they're
confident in
doing
themselves. They're,
Oh.
they're a
I've
lot
been
more
saying
confident.
that. I feel like when you have sex with a guy in his 20s, he's so in his own head of
Yep.
like, is he
Mhm.
doing
Totally.
this right? Is she gonna like this? Are my friends gonna think this is cool? I don't know how I'm doing the ABCs. I'm going down on her. Like they just don't know what's going on. But a guy in his 40s is just like all about you.
Yeah.
He's done his shit. He's seen
Oh,
enough titties. He's
Girl,
just like,
even
I
his
want you
50s,
to be
rock your
happy.
world.
Yeah,
Anyway, I didn't want to interrupt you, Paige, if you were going to say something.
I don't remember. Oh yeah, but then there's things about dating someone older that I personally I couldn't do. But Hannah is more mature in relationships, I think, than I am, and I'm a bit more of like a party girl than Hannah is.
Well,
Yeah.
you also, I read at like an Us Weekly or something like that. It's so weird. I've never interviewed somebody didn't say, well, I read when you were in Us
I
Weekly.
cited
or
Us
People."
Weekly as a source.
Usually when I'm like, when I looked you up on dickfinder.com, I noticed
Picklefinder.net.
picklefinder.net.
Grinder.
Yes.
But you said something that I wanted to say that I thought was so beautiful because I think this word is used as negative and it's not. I think you said, I want to be selfish right now. I think it's a
Yeah.
time for me to be selfish. And I think a lot of young women, especially, give their power away and don't take time to be selfish and cultivate themselves. What did you mean by that when you said selfish?
I'm a very privileged girl. I grew up in a very middle class, normal family, and never like wanted for anything. So if I wanted something like, and not that I was spoiled, but my parents it was fine. So when I moved to New York and I didn't have a job, my parents paid my rent until I was 25 years old. And I never saw anything wrong with that because all my friends' parents paid their rent. And then when I got a job and I was a little bit more established, I was so excited to pay all my own bills, to pay my own rent. And I loved that feeling so much. And then I started dating someone who was older that had, kind of like a parental feel. And I didn't like the feeling of like being taken care of. Like I just wasn't ready for it yet. I like wanted to be able to come to my own apartment and have it be disgusting and clothes all over and no one telling me to pick anything up. And because it was mine, I paid for it. I can do whatever I want. And I just love that feeling right now. And I'm not ready to make decisions with someone else. And
that's called growing up. That's growing up.
I also think that like when you finally were like, okay, I got the guy, then you were like, wait, I'm not fully cooked. Like, like you didn't. And I feel like sometimes relationships are actually so fucking time consuming. I know it's important, but like I'm happy that I was single like a lot of the time till I was 29 because I was able to fucking, while other girls might have been like having to deal with some guy like wanting to hang out with them and all the bullshit of whatever, I was like working on shit. And I think that's important. And then when you start getting in a groove in your careers, then like guys start seeing you for you and the Paige you want to be or the Hannah you want to be.
It's really it's interesting that we talk about finding someone who, I said on our podcast for a while back, that finding someone to complete you is never the thing, because two halves of a person don't make a whole. Two half people don't make a whole, and you got to be whole before you got to be whole you before.
So true.
I'm sorry, you said whole and my mind went somewhere.
I know. When I say whole, that's...
I'm just like, I'm here, boys.
And I was always someone that was like, no, like I am very confident and I'm whole and I want to like meet the love of my life and like start all this not realizing that I wasn't, and I had no idea what the fuck I was talking about until I reached an age where I was like, actually, I have so many other things I want to do, and like I can't even think about having a serious boyfriend right now because I have my own issues I have to deal with before I even date someone. And now I'm in
like Hannah just laughed when you said your own issues. She's like, yes.
I was like, where's
like, can I list them all?
But now like I love my routine and I really do love my life, that you would have to be so perfect and amazing to come in and like mess anything up, like for me to let you
same here, girl.
That's
I'm the
good
same
place to
get
be.
those walls up, bitch.
Get those. I mean, it's interesting.
Like, I can't trust anyone anymore. Next question.
This is a random question, but it's something that stresses me out when I watch the show constantly. The longer and longer this show goes on, the messier and more fucking disgusting this house gets. Like, how do you live in this house? Is it just like, does it just smell like Kyle's urine and dead dreams by the end of the season? Like, it's gross. There's shit everywhere. I'm an OCD clean person. Like, what do you do?
Hannah and I are the worst people to ask this question to because we are
the source.
Disgusting.
Bitches, I've seen your rooms.
No, Kyle is always cleaning though.
But he's peeing everywhere.
So, yeah, Kyle is like the guy who will destroy everything and then wake up at 7 a.m. and yell at everyone to clean because he's like a very different person when he's sober. And we're just like, we've been like neutral throughout. Like
we've been messy for years.
We keep it in our room. Like everyone who would, they love late night eating, the rest of the group, and they will fuck up the kitchen. And they're like, kind of Paige, you don't do shit. And I was like, I've been napping all day. So I don't know how much of a mess I could have been. I don't even know how to use the kitchen. But
so there's not a cleaning crew that comes in. Bravo doesn't have a cleaning crew come in.
Not this last summer because it's
because of COVID.
Because of COVID, you had to stay there.
Oh, I'm already anxious about what I'm gonna see.
Literally, Big Brother.
About when we ordered food and then I spilled something.
So, we ordered food, and where else would we eat it but in our bed that we share, because we're watching Love Island on the computer and like we have things to do. So we had ordered pancakes on a normal Wednesday morning,
as one does.
And Hannah spilled syrup on our floor on her side, respectfully. And she grabbed a paper towel, she put it on top of it and said, "I'll get that later." And I go, "Okay." we have fruit flies in our bed for the remainder of the summer.
We left. You just see my room. There's just paper on the ground. The whole house had fruit flies, and I was like, "It's super weird." How
we were like, we don't know where they're coming from.
Kyle, maybe you should clean better.
They're like, the fruit flies are coming from the basement.
I was like, maybe you shouldn't have put us in a basement.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I like it how you're like saying anything but us. You're like, I don't know what that's from.
I don't know what that's from. So you did mention Sierra. Like, what do you think she brings to? Because I know she was new, but then also y'all are in this COVID experience. So she probably became bonded to some people really quickly. And what did she bring to the show?
She knew Carl, right? Or who did she know?
Luke.
Luke. Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was.
So yeah, she came in. For me, I was stressed. I was stressed about it because I didn't know she was coming in. And then, because Luke was like, didn't tell me. Shady McShadester. And
I'm sure we'll hear more about that.
It's interesting though to see, like, we already have an established friend group, so it's like a lot of pressure for a new girl to come in.
And it's only one new person this season too.
One new person. But she not only is a like beautiful model, like an actual real model, not just Instagram. No offense, Paige. That was not
sorry.
Paige was like, well, I just was attacked.
Okay, fun fact about Paige. She actually was a child model and was very successful.
Thank you so much.
Like toddlers and tiaras style.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is what I love about Paige, and this is what I can do with Poodle, is Hannah can say something totally offensive to her, but then if you just remind Paige that she's pretty, she totally
pretty.
That is Jake. I'll call Jake, and he'll be like, how dare you say that? And I'll say, Poodle, your eyes look so pretty. And he'll go,
oh, thank you.
Thank you. And
then I'm fine.
All I have to do is be like, Paige, that
erases my
sweatshirt, amazing. I can literally be like, Paige, you've lost $400,000. And she'd be like, what? And I'd be like, but you look great. And she'd be like, amazing.
That's all that matters.
So also, Sierra not only is beautiful, but she was an ICU nurse, a traveling nurse during COVID. So she's a hero. Like, she's saving lives. We're like, why are you hanging out with us? And then, like, overall, she's 24, but she's quite mature. And she also, it's funny you guys talked about the South in our podcast, but like Atlanta is a different place. It's very different.
It is.
And, like, it was interesting to have someone of like a different culture and everything come in and teach us some shit.
And she was really just chill. Like,
yeah,
you know, she kind of watched us have like certain fights with each other just because we have this history with each other, and she didn't like chime in or anything, but she was a presence. Like, she didn't fall in the background, but she wasn't like in your face annoying.
Right.
Like, she was just a chill human, and we just got along with her.
She definitely didn't come in as like a fan of the show. Where like it's weird once your show gets more popular and like new people come in, you wonder like, do they already know me, or like, you know, have preconceived notions and stuff. And she just came in like, look, let's be real, let's have fun. She's just, you see our relationship evolve over time.
Cool.
Is my
she's great.
So why don't we, is it time for our game? Do you think it's time for
let's do
play our game.
Let's
you guys
do our game.
This is just more about, because they really, of course, this next
because they can't talk about shit on the season.
Oh, Andy Cohen would come in and like smack his dick against their face.
Anytime someone says a spoiler, his butthole goes, it senses it. He's like, whoa. And he has to like go.
During quarantine, I was attracted to Andy Cohen. Like, when it got real lonely, I was like, I would date him.
He's a good-looking guy.
He's a decent looking guy. And he probably has some great pot.
I still say he is the kind of moderately attractive gay guy at the pool party who's always trying to hit on the hottest guys. And he's not satisfied because he can't get the hottest guys. That's what, unfortunately. And if you hit on him, he's like, you're not hot enough for me.
Okay, don't dig on their boss.
Okay, we have to put our foot down there because that is wrong. No, but Andy,
I want to have that energy though. The next time someone hits on me, I'm like, oh, how dare you?
Andy does have like big dick energy.
He does. He totally does.
Yeah.
So we want to ask a couple of questions, and we're gonna call this like in 20 years.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
In 20 years. In 20 years.
So like in our 50s. Sorry.
Yeah, something like that.
We were doing some strong math there.
Yeah, strong math.
Wow, that's scary.
Who is going to be like, who from your cast right now, who is going to be a phone call away? You can see either one or the other, obviously.
Hannah.
Oh.
Yeah, obviously Paige.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's so
okay.
sweet.
That was a good starter question. So in 20 years, who is going to be sleeping on your couch because they're divorced for the third time?
Luke.
Oh.
I'm not letting Luke on my couch. He can call one of. He can figure it
He
out.
will be on a couch, not ours. We'll be on a couch.
Floor.
All right, that makes sense.
That's a good one.
Mhm.
Who do you think will be in 20 years will have their own kind of brand, or who do you think might even be an actor or something like that? Who's the most have ambition?
I think that one day Hannah will be on a sitcom. Like it will be based around her. She will have written it. It'll be funny, and it'll be like something that you stream on Netflix and you're obsessed with it.
I would watch that
Thank
shit.
you.
I would watch the fuck out of that.
I
What about
do
you,
have
Hannah?
to say, I mean, we're being annoying, but I do think that like Paige is gonna have like a fashion empire, but also like uniquely have her humor and personality involved somehow.
Just
Wow,
get
that's
married
so
already.
nice.
Gross.
You know, we're obsessed with each other. But also, I do have to say, I have a theory that Sierra is like gonna get discovered on Summer House and like be in like a Maybelline commercial or something.
Good.
She's like that. Her look is like that good.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, she looks amazing on camera, obviously. Her in person, you're just like, come on.
And it's just
like,
pure genetics.
The first time I saw her in a bathing suit, I was just like, come on. Like, what am I going to do here? What am I going to do here?
That's why you have to have a personality, Paige.
Yeah. It's all about
personality doesn't go away. Beauty does. Beauty does.
Yep.
I was like, Sarah, do you know how to make a good dick joke at any time? Didn't think so.
So in 20 years, which guy do you think is going to, of all the guys in 20 years, which guy is going to be famous for having so much STDs they've actually cured the STDs in the world?
Luke.
Or Luke.
We can see how the season's going to kind of go.
Luke played hockey. He did it to himself. They're all
The first thing
beat up.
I said to Luke is I go, I don't mess with hockey, guys. My mom told me you all have STDs, no teeth, and like a secret family.
You did.
And-
You said that on the show.
And what
I remember that.
did you guys say last podcast? Jake was like, however you feel when you first meet someone is the truth.
It is.
It is
Yeah.
the truth. It is the truth.
I think there's something interesting. We said this. He like appears differently in every frame he's in. Like I can't
looks different.
pigeon
No.
his look.
You have
Like-
no idea what I said to him this summer, and he actually got really mad at me. I was like, Luke, every time I see you, I feel like you're a different character. Like he was
Yes!
wearing an outfit, and I was like, did you just finish writing your novel?
No, he changes outfits for
bungalow
things
that
he
you live
does.
in?
He like has
Yeah.
outfits for things he does throughout the day. Like he's kind of coming for you, Paige. Like his outfit game.
Yeah. Sometimes he wears glasses, and I'm like, are those even prescription?
They're not. They're definitely not.
Look.
I think he's very, very concerned about how he appears. And that was
Well, how can you not when you're a model?
Yeah, but so there's some models who are concerned about that, but not if you're.
But he
Yeah.
really likes to act like he doesn't, though.
Yeah,
I do think he came into this show, and you probably can't comment on this, but we do keep it real. I think he came into the show kind of, you said like Sierra did not. I think he did come into the show knowing what the show was. And I think a little bit of being, what can this show do for me? So y'all can't say a word about that, but I feel that way.
Paige is laying back, smoking an imaginary cigarette.
Yeah, all I have to say is I think you definitely like saw him last season through like my rose-colored glasses.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this. He does look like a good kisser.
Yeah.
He is. He is a very good
Yeah.
kisser.
Yeah.
I wonder, better kisser, Carl or Luke? Well, you haven't had that.
We haven't switched, but for research purposes, we should.
Yes,
You should.
Carl is a very good kisser.
I could see that. Ooh.
Very
Oh,
good.
great.
He's
That's all Poodle
also-
needs.
He's
Jake's like,
very,
can you describe it more?
He's very like, obviously he's so big.
Yeah.
So you just feel this like presence. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so small and tiny.
Put me in your
cold.
I'm a little cricket.
I'm just like a
Cricket.
little baby. But like he's great at like when you are making out, like where he's putting his hands. Like he knows when to like touch your face or your head and like
because he's a fuck boy. They know.
He knows the chassis of that truck.
Yeah. No, he
like
knows
it's
that.
like when they undo your bra too fast, you're like, that's a turn off.
Oh, same.
At least
same.
jokingly be like, whoops, like for a second, act like you don't do this yesterday.
For me, I just take off my pants. I just take off my pants right away.
Yeah,
so,
Jake, he's just naked.
I'm like, the door's open. Just come on in.
I stopped wearing bras because I don't have the
why
time.
bother?
No,
why bother? One more, and then we'll one more game question, then we'll let you wrap up. But so like in 20 years, who do you think of all the cast, and you can use this season or even all the season, who do you think in 20 years is going to walk away from it all and just become like a pig farmer somewhere and not do anything with the celebrity anymore?
Oh my God, great question.
I have a lot of thoughts sometimes where I'm like, should I just move to the countryside in England and have kids and they'll call me mom? Like, you would be me. You honestly,
you would hate that so much. I know I don't know you, but just from knowing you, you would hate that.
Paige, I have those kind of thoughts too. Those are my like 8 a.m. or my 12:30 thoughts.
Yeah, I'm like, what if I just said?
I have an answer. I have an answer.
Okay.
And Paige, I'm the same. Every now and then I'm like, should I just raise goats at the countryside and like delete everything?
Yeah.
Hannah called me the other day and she was like, I could just adopt dogs for the rest of my life. And I said, don't tempt me.
I want to start a pit bull sanctuary. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. This is my answer. Amanda would, but Kyle wouldn't let her.
That is a great answer.
That is a great answer. That's a great answer.
That's perfect because she would want to kind of follow her like arrow
I can't
that way.
Wait to go over to Amanda's house in 20 years because I just know it's going to be so homey and like normal.
Like Amanda can handle the spotlight and she's great in it, but I don't think it's her natural place
you
to
can
go.
tell.
Well, and you can't say this, but I can. And in 20 years, you'll go over to Amanda's house who lives alone. Yeah, y'all. Because if they get married, that marriage is not gonna last.
We'll say it here. There no comment, of course. You guys,
this was wonderful.
Absolutely wonderful.
So
we love being on your show. This is our kind of summer house preview for all of our, and
we can't wait to hear all your thoughts.
We'll be, of course, imitating both of you terribly.
Well, maybe we'll do something at the end of all this. If you are free, we'll do it.
We'll have to do a wrap up.
Where you can like tell a behind the scenes.
You can spill all the tea.
We would love that.
So tell everybody where they can find. Tell everybody where they can find everything with the podcast or anything else you're doing.
So our Instagram is at Giggly Squad, and then our podcast, you can find it wherever you get your podcasts. My Instagram is Paige_DeSorbo, and Hannah's is Being Burns at Being Burns.
Yes.
Well, that's a good name.
Oh, and also check out my podcast, Burning in Hell.
Ooh, yes.
Okay, I wanted to ask you a little bit about. Let's take Burning in Hell. Tell everybody what it is.
It's basically like a comedy mental health podcast where I talk to people about their demons, their insecurities, their anxiety. So I just like get people on that people look up to, and then I try to like break them down.
Yeah, and people really open up to her for some odd reason.
No, I get it. She's disarming.
Yeah.
Or because I'm just like, oh, this fucking stuff happened to me. What about you? And they're like, I know.
Love it. So we'll put show links to all of that, all of those links in the show notes, y'all. So be sure to swipe up.
And Summer House is Thursdays at 9 p.m.
Yes, Summer House Thursday at 9. This week we premiere.
Yes.
We're very excited. Hannah
Thank
and
you
Paige,
so
thank y'all
much.
so much. We love y'all.
Thank you
Have
so
the
much,
best
guys.
day.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, sugars. This is Maddie. Thanks so much for listening to that. We had really the best time with Hannah and Paige. Thanks so much to them, and shout out to Sara at Acast who helped set this all up. Now listen, sugars, this was just the first part of our conversation. If you want to listen to the second part, you're going to have to jump into the Giggly Squad podcast feed on their free feed. Be sure to jump into that because that episode's going to drop on Monday. We're giving blowjob advice from their listeners asking questions. We were only supposed to talk 10 minutes, and we ended up talking for almost an hour with them on their show because we just had so much freaking fun. We love them. We're so excited about Summer House. So be sure to watch Summer House tonight and on Bravo. And on Monday, be sure to listen to the second half of our interview. Have a good weekend, y'all.